How you going, guys? Curtis from Cutting Edge Engineering. So today we're going to be getting another workshop project off the list. We were hoping to do a little bit more on our Frenno crane, but due to the amount of wind that's blowing across the back of the workshop, that'd make it very unpleasant. We've also got the council in doing a bit of work on the stormwater pipes that run through the yard. So they do have a pump station down the back. There is something wrong, but they've got little excavators and pump trucks, so there is quite a lot of noise and a lot of distraction outside. So even though we're not going to be working on the Frenno, we do have time allocated for projects. So today we're going to do a little bit more on our Zaya. So if you want to know more about our Zaya or seeing it in action, we will put a video link in the description. But because we're using the Zaya more and more, there are a few upgrades that I would like to do to make it easier to use, easier to clean, and overall prolong the life of it. So the way we're going to be making this easy to use is we are going to change out the digital readout. Some of you may remember that it does flicker and it does power down all by itself. When you're using the machine, if it does power down, you do lose your zero position. You have to go back and find it, and there are a few functions that aren't currently working. So to eliminate those problems, which could be quite costly on a job, we're just going to change out the screen for a new one. And to make it easier to clean, we are going to be installing new swarf guards because the ones on the back are all damaged and bent and there aren't any on the front. And so swarf just goes everywhere. We're also having issues with the way guards on either side of the table, so we're going to have a look at whether we can repair them or make new ones. So that's what we're hoping to get done today, but while we're working on it, we will keep our eye out for anything else that needs to be repaired or upgraded. But the first thing we're going to do is get started on taking the guards off the back of the table. Now with the guard removed, I'm just going to remove this cover strip and give everything a good clean. So now with this side done, I'm just going to traverse the bed so I can get the other side done. So now with all that out of the way, we're going to get on to fitting the new guards. For our new guards, we've got 2mm steel sheets pressed to the correct shape. We're going to mark them out, drill the holes and get them fitted. Yeah, 50 mil. And 10. So with the two end positions marked, we can now measure out the other holes. 540. 548. 560. So with those marked out, now we're going to center punch everything and drill all the hole positions. And to drill these holes, I'm going to be using a step drill and we're taking it out to 8mm.
Oh, it chamfers it too. So that's the first guard drilled. We're going to mark and drill the second one. So now we're just going to test fit them to make sure everything lines up. So those fit great, everything lines up, but before I bolt everything back on, I would like to give the back side of the guard a coat of paint. So hopefully the wind's died down enough now, we can paint them. And while we're painting the back guards, we're also going to paint the front ones. The front ones aren't bolted on, they were made so they were removable. They simply slot down inside one of the T-slots so they can be removed for setting up jobs and then put back on when the machine's in operation. So to paint the new guards, we're not going to be using our standard workshop blue. I have got a custom colour mixed up to match the paint that's already on the Zaya.
Nice. Oh. Oh no.
So they look really good. They are going to stand out quite a bit compared to the rest of the machine, but that's okay. While these are outside drying, we're going to go back inside and fit the digital readout. It's spinning there. So with the old digital readout removed, we're going to open up the new one. So what we got was a MeasureMax MX30i. It is a 3-axis digital readout. This is the latest of the MeasureMax DROs. We got this one through Heron Forbes and they retail for about $350. And compared to the old readout and some of the other ones on the market, this one looks really nice.
Nice. Pretty standard.
Pretty standard. So this screen does come with a swinging mounting arm. We're not going to be using that because the machine already has one fitted to it. It is a little bit shorter, which means the screen is closer to the control box. So I'm just going to take that bracket off the arm and fit it to our new screen. Now we can just plug in the cables for the X, Y, and Z axis. So for us, this is just a plug and play setup, but if you don't have the correct scales to suit the digital readout, you can buy adapter cables so everything works correctly. So now we're just going to replace the power cord and zip tie everything up nice and neat.
Oh, there you go.
So that's all connected now. That took only about 5 minutes. Now we can power it up. So now we've got it powered up. Before we go through and test all our axes, I am going to go in and change the background color. You do have a pretty big variety of colors to choose from, and you can also set what language the digital readout reads in. So those are pretty cool features. None of our other digital readouts have that. We've decided to go with black and obviously English. So not only does this have all the standard features of any other digital readout, like your incremental, your inch and millimeters, your half function, PCD, it has everything. It also has a mapping feature. So when you use the PCD function, it will actually map the holes out on the 7-inch display to show you what it's going to look like before you do it. But honestly, there's a lot of functions on this that I'll probably never even use. So our digital readout's working correctly. It's doing everything it's supposed to do. It does look a lot nicer than the one I took off. But now that that's fitted, we can get back on to fitting the guards.
Go. Go, Sean. Come on. Come on. Let's go. Go. Go, Sean.
Drop it. Drop it. Sit. Stay. Get. Tar, drop it. Oh, it's full of sand. Stay.
Rude. Yeah.
That's not good.
How do you know which is the right side?
So that's the inside. That's the outside. 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 Outside.
Okay. Sure.
Huh?
Is it?
So it turns out that Karen was right again. I did paint the wrong side of the front swarf guards. So what I'm going to do is admit fault, go outside and paint the right side. So I really didn't want to have to paint the inside of the guards. The reason for that is the swarf is going to tear that paint off anyway and it's not going to look very good. But I guess I'm going to have to paint both sides of these. So while I wait for those to dry again, I have taken a closer look at the way covers that mount to either side of the bed. They are a lot more intricate than I first thought. They are very thin material and there are some pretty tight corners that need to be folded in them. And not only that, they do have a wiper that has been pressed into them. Those wipers wipe material off the cover as it's working so it doesn't get stuck underneath it and cause any sorts of other issues. So what I'm going to do is get the rep here to have a closer look at the guards to see if it's something they can do. If they can't do it, I might have to look for someone who is better suited for the light gauge material, and if that doesn't work, we'll have to come up with a plan B. So the way these covers work on these old style bed mills is they are actually telescopic, and in order to close them there are two springs that run from one end all the way to the other. So as the table moves up one way, the four covers then spread apart to protect the ways, and then when it's coming back, those two springs then pull those closed, and the same happens on the other end as it moves the other direction. That's why it is so important that the covers are in good working condition. Just one dint will stop that cover from working, and when they do, they pull the springs too tight, they break, and then you've got a massive problem because you need to try and feed a 4-meter long spring down the inside of this machine. I didn't actually do this damage, this is how I got the machine, and the previous guy did make the smart decision to unhook the springs from this end so it wouldn't stretch them out and break them. So the weight cover isn't on this end because I had to remove it when I was doing a 9-meter long job. I was having interference issues between this machine and our Bridgeport style beside it, but I haven't put it back on there yet because I would like to have both way covers working correctly, and fitting it back to the machine is pretty much a waste of time because it doesn't actually work correctly either. But something I did realise while I was having a look at them, I am missing a cover that covers up the coolant system. So what I'm going to have to do is order in a piece of plate, make it fit there and bolt it on. So something else we definitely need to replace are the way wipers on the Ram. These are extremely deteriorated and they're not really doing their job, which is to protect the ways from any material getting stuck on them and then being dragged back through the machine surfaces. These particular ones are made up of a rubber strip that has been pressed into a steel shell and is then bolted onto the area they're trying to protect. Unfortunately, they are not available and we can't buy them. So what we do is make our own way wipers. We 3D print them out of a flexible material. We then have a steel plate cut to the right shape, which holds the way wiper in position so we can bolt them back to the machine. So we do need to remove these ones and draw them up so we can make new ones. But the problem with that, the two way wipers on the front of the Ram, they are actually covered up by the face plate of the machine, which holds the big universal head. So in order to remove those way wipers, we need to take the whole head off the machine. But lucky for me, I got my hands on a Zaya milling machine that came out of a scrapyard. It had a smashed gearbox in it, but I was able to salvage a lot of parts from it, including the entire Ram, and the head and the backing plate are already off that Ram, so I can access those way wipers nice and easy. So I'm going to get those off so I can have them drawn, print new wipers and have them ready, so when the machine's got some downtime and I'm able to remove the head, I'll be able to fit the new wipers. And something else I would really like to upgrade are the hand feed wheels on the front of the machine. These ones are made of plastic. Originally they would have been aluminium. The reason I would like to change them out is the plastic ones, when they get a crack in them and you rapid traverse the machine, the wheels can fly apart. I have been keeping my eye out for a second-hand set of aluminium wheels, but they don't come up very often. So what I'll probably end up doing is buying in some aluminium and making my own. Righto guys, so that's all of our upgrades completed today. The new digital readout and the swarf guards look really good. That's going to make it just a little bit easier to use this machine and clean up after we've done a job. But there's still a few more things that I need to do. I need to make up the new hand wheels. We also need to work out whether we can repair or we're going to have to replace the way covers on either side of the bed. And we also need to print the new way wipers ready to fit back onto the machine when it's got some downtime. So I hope you enjoyed the video. Thanks for watching. How you going, guys? Oh, wait, what? Oh. Is my hat on straight? Because I noticed in the last video my hat wasn't straight. To make jobs easier to set up and to make use help. Help.
Just stop. Stop jabbering.
So while we're painting the back guards, we're also going to paint. Oh fuck! It's a lot of guards. So the way the way covers. So that's to. Oh fuck! I can't even say today. I just said it. So that's what we're hoping.
We'll paint the front ones.
Righto.
Your brain doesn't know how to make up new words or something.
No, it only has a certain vocabulary of like 20 words. And those 20 words are fucking the mug of it. That was. Those 20 words, it fucks them up anyway.
Oh. Okay, don't worry about it.
Oh, go in the hole.
Some people leave it, some people it's like, you gotta peel it off.
I'm a rebel.
Press any key.
Who's the any key? You. Jeffrey. Where's George?
George not here anymore.
George, it's gone. Hold on.
That GoPro's just holding on.
Stop.
That thing's just not strong enough for him.
Nah, this is too rough.
Just take it off him.
Sit.
Crazy.
Mouthful of sand. Sit. Stay.
Uh-oh.